What's going on, guys? Waffles here, back with another Neo Knives video, and today, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be counting down the top 10 godlies in Neo Knives. As far as I can tell, I am the only YouTuber to do this so far. I searched on YouTube and I couldn't find anyone else who did it, so it's kind of nice to be the first person to do this. That being said, there's not enough godlies to make separate top 10s on knives and guns at this point in time. In the future, I'll probably revisit this later in 2020 or maybe 2021. Probably 2021 when there's more godlies. We'll probably make separate top 10 knives and top 10 godly guns. But at this point in time, it's going to be mixed. Also, a disclaimer, the images are used off of the Neo Knives value list. There's currently no in-game pictures, as you can see on screen. This is the developer Aranor, who said, we don't want to provide players with our icons, you'll just have to find a way around it. And I understand why. It's so that people don't take the icons and use them for their own monetary gain or games, that kind of thing, whatever. However, I will have to say it's kind of inconvenient, to say the least. I think that maybe YouTubers or content creators in general who make videos on this game should have the option or like the chance to be able to get high quality transparent images of knives and guns and pets, so that way we can increase the quality of our content, which will increase the amount of players that join to play the game because of our content. You know, it's kind of like a cycle. That being said, we're just going to jump into the top 10. I've been blabbering on long enough. Number 10 is going to be the Godly Shamrock Shanker, which is from the 2020 St. Patrick's Day bundle, which is currently worth 4 godly value. So this is kind of like a pirate sword, but edgier, if that makes sense. It looked better than the other godlies by a small margin, and that's the only reason it's top 10, because it kind of looks cool. Personally, though, this is why it's 10. It's the worst of the 10, if that makes sense. It's good, but in my opinion, I don't like the way the design looks. It's just not appealing to my eyes. Personally, it's kind of too crooked. But then again, this is all opinion based, and it's not based on value, it's more on looks. So, get ready for number 9. Number 9 is going to be the Bolt, which is the lightning bolt knife that I made a video on when I purchased the pack. This is from the 2020 Summer Bundle 1, and it is currently worth 2 godly value. Or 2 tier 1 godlies, however you want to say it. I like to say godly value because it just sounds better. It's currently off sale, and it probably will be like their version of limited, where the packs don't come back. So this was only really available for about a month, which was June of 2020. So that's actually pretty cool. I purchased it once, and I mean, I like it because it's a literal lightning bolt. I think that's pretty unique and pretty cool. It is in some other games, such as Assassin, but even in those games, it's a pretty cool knife, which is why it has made the top 10 in the number 9 spot. Moving on to number 8. Number 8 is going to be the Cupid's Blade, which is from the Valentine's 2020 bundle. This is the very first godly knife that I ever had in the game. It also looks really cool. I like the pink and the light white kind of mixed together. It's a very nice sword. It's not really a knife, to be honest. It's kind of a sword. And that's just really cool in my opinion. It is definitely one of my personal favorites, and it'll always be kind of special since it was the very first godly knife that I ever had. It's also going to be kind of, rare in the future because it's currently worth 5 godly value. You might not think that's a lot, but the most expensive godly in the game is literally 21 godly value. So it's getting there. It's getting there. Moving on to number 7, which is going to be the Blaze, which can actually be unboxed. It's one of the only 2 unboxable permanent godlies, meaning that it's not part of an event and it's going to stay. And it is available in Knife Box 4, and it is currently and always going to be worth 1 godly value, as it is a tier 1 godly. Moving straight on to number 6, we have the Mercy Gun. I personally have unboxed this gun. It is very cool. It's kind of like an Old West revolver with some red mixed into it, and I don't know what it is about it. It just looks really cool. It can be unboxed in Gun Box 4, and it is worth 1 godly value, as it is, of course, a tier 1 godly. So yeah, moving on to number 5. These are the top 5, in my opinion. Of course, if you have a different opinion, feel free to express it in the comments down below. This is just how I feel about some of the knives. Obviously, when we get more content in the future, my opinions will change. So yeah, moving on to number 5. We have the Love Scythe. Love Scythe is from the 2020 Valentine's event, and it is part of the actual event itself where you have to grind 6 tiers and a total of about, I think it's like 1,200 or 1,300, I think it was hearts at the time. Basically, every event has its own currency, which can be earned by kills as the sheriff, meaning you kill the murderer, or murderer kills, meaning you stab people. And once you reach a certain amount, you are able to unlock this. And once again, I believe it was around 1,300 of those currency things, if that makes sense. This is currently worth 12 godly value, and I believe this is the first ever event knife in Neo Knives, which is actually why it is one of the more expensive ones, being 12, which is pretty cool. It is currently the only scythe in the game. Hopefully when the Halloween 2020 event comes out, we get like an evil scythe or something, or like an Excalibur sword but evil. I don't know. I think it'd be kind of cool. I'm going to make a separate video discussing my ideas of knives that they should add into the game for the Halloween 2020 event, but that's a different topic for another day. Moving on to number 4, we have the Bunny Blade, which is from the Easter 2020 event. This is also the event itself where you have to earn up kills and then purchase your way up to tier 6 when you unlock the Bunny Blade. It is currently worth 7 godly value, and you might recognize the mold from Assassin because it is the same mold as the fairy. However, the middle, as you can see, has a little heart, which is pretty cool, and it's different colored, and it looks better than fairy in my opinion. And this is also kind of more of a sword than a knife, which is why I think it's also pretty cool. I personally do want this. I also want the Midnight gun, which we will get to later on this list. I think that set is actually pretty fire. Moving on to number 3. We are in the top 3 now. This godly is very cool, and I unfortunately never had the option to get it because it is the Dusiker, or Dusikar? I don't know how to pronounce it, I'll be honest with you. But it's basically like the Ghost Deary head on a knife, and it is awesome. I remember when it was still available to get, I wanted it so badly, but I just didn't have any way to craft up to it because that is right, this is the only craftable godly that I've put on this list. And this was available during the 2020 Crafting Menu 1, as I'm calling it, because sometime this year, during the whole lockdown thing, the crafting menu changed where the 2 craftable godlies are no longer the Dusiker and the Dream Knife, or Dreamwalker I think it was called. They're different stuff. So I will actually never be able to craft this, unfortunately. It is currently worth 7 godly value, and it's actually pretty expensive considering it's not an event item. It was a craftable item that anyone could do at any time until, of course, it was removed from the crafting menu. Getting into second place, we are number 2 here. As I mentioned a little bit earlier, it is the Midnight Gun from the 2020 Easter bundle. This not unfortunately, sorry, I misspoke. This was not like the event. The Bunny Blade was the event, whereas this was the pack item. It also came with a knife. The knife did not make the list. Personally, I don't think it looks good. The Midnight and the Bunny Blade go perfectly together. It's as if this was made for it, and I think it was. But yeah, basically it's the 2020 Easter bundle, and it is currently worth 3 godly value. Will this raise up? Probably. I don't think it's going to raise as fast as some of the actually more recent packs, to be completely honest. But you never know. We'll have to wait and see in the future. Now, moving on to the first place spot. This is making our number 1, in my opinion, the best godly in Neo Knives, which is the knife that got me into Neo Knives. I unfortunately never got the opportunity to get this knife. However, it is what originally made me want to start playing this game, and that, of course, is going to be the Heart Saber. This is basically a Tides reskin for those of you who play Murder Mystery 2, but it's pink and it's supposed to be like a heart, basically. This is the 2020 Valentine's Event Box Unboxable Godly. Like I said, I was never able to get it, and the reason for that is because it wasn't unboxable, and I didn't know if I wanted to spend money on the game at that point in time, because I was still making a lot more MM2 content, especially spending a lot more money on it, And at the time, I didn't know if I wanted to go full in investment in this game, especially for content. Now my opinion has changed, and I do in fact regret not spending a lot of money on boxing this. It is currently worth 12 godly value, the same as the Love Scythe, which we mentioned previously on the list as our number 5 knife. So yeah, I don't know what else to say. This is honestly what got me into this game. Even though it's kind of like a reskin of a knife from a different game, it just looks so cool and so clean. It is literally amazing, in my opinion. That, of course, is going to complete our list. That was the top 10 godlies in Neoknives. Sorry, I can't speak. In my opinion, of course. If you have another opinion, like I said, make sure to comment down below. We are on the road to 4,000 subscribers. I think we're about 400 off-ish. 400-ish off, something like that. So make sure to subscribe. I want to do some Neoknives giveaways. Unfortunately, you have to have something in both sides of the trade at this point in time. If any developers are watching this, another recommendation would be to allow you to do a trade without having to put something in both slots, meaning not both people have to put something in. That way we can actually genuinely give free things, especially for players who are just starting out. I hope you guys did enjoy this video, and if you want more, you know what to do. I'll see you guys later. Peace out.